All right. Hello, fellow photographers. Thank you for joining me today. I am here with round number 33. But before we get into that, I have few things I want to talk about. So let's jump right into it. First of all, I would like to say thank you to everyone who is supporting the channel with the membership, and it's Benny Tompangi, Marius Daskalo, 18th Jazyčná Gymnasium Zagreb, Kat Mesarovic, Zanes Addiction, Jiří Kolařík, Brian Egerton, Tommaso, Tim McGraw, and David Ellison. Thank you very much. So, all right, let's see this. Some of you have already subscribed to the second channel, but just for anyone who have not found yet, there is a second channel called Photography Critique where I post the replays of the stream as well as the interviews with guests, and I have already probably around 5 or 4 new interviews that are going to be posted next year in January probably. So if you want to keep up with the guest critiques, feel free to subscribe to the channel. And already 107 subscribers, which is great if I consider that we only started posting 1 month ago. So that's that. For anyone who is interested in interviews with great photography masters, I have a good news. There is a new podcast coming up this is it Thursday? I believe it's Thursday, and it's with Bieke de Porter. It is going to be my last video for this year on this channel, and I have to say this might actually be the best interview I have done so far. It's partly because it took me actually 1 year since I emailed assistant of Bieke de Porter, and then we just mailed back and forth, and she couldn't, and then I couldn't come, and then after 1 year we actually made it. So my preparation was actually, it wasn't that long, but it was kind of like longer than it usually is. And then it took me probably half a year to edit, which wasn't because I was editing it for half a year, but it was because I had to do Martin Parr's interview and other videos which were in line. But yeah, I think it's great. If you have time, you can either watch it on YouTube or you can listen to it if you subscribe to About Photography podcast. All right, so let's close this down. All right, next up we have the finals for round number 32, 32nd round, and I apologize, I wasn't very active in contacting the winners for the interview. It is the same kind of thing lately. with my kids being either ill and not going to the kindergarten, or whatever, some family stuff which got in my way. But I actually keep an eye on that, and slowly but surely I will catch up. You can still vote. We have 31 votes already, and so the guy I voted for is almost last. Okay, that's kind of the theme of this voting. But you can, hard choice this week. I agree. You can still participate, and I hope you will. And at the end of this stream, I will post another poll, which will have finalists from round number 33, which brings up another thing that I wanted to talk about, and that is that we have such a strong round today. And that means, let me check this. Okay, and that means that not all the pictures are gonna be shown. As you may know, I only show about 30-35 pictures, and you have submitted almost double the amount, so I apologize to everyone who is not gonna be featured in this session, but everyone is gonna be featured on Instagram if you included Instagram in the comment of your photo. So that's that. So thank you for understanding. The way to make sure you are shown, you are featured on the stream during the stream, is that I usually show top 20 photos from each year, from each round, and you can, if you post good photos, then make sure you are up and I will feature. And then I pick random 20 photographs, or 10 photographs, 30-35 in total. So yeah, that's that. I went over the reasons previously, because it's impossible to show everyone's photos. All right, I just realized I actually forgot last week to set up a new round, so we did not have a round set up, but I have already corrected that, and we now have round number 34. You can submit for round number 34 as well as 35. I don't know when I'm going to stream the 35th round, because it ends like December 26th, so I suppose I should stream it December 27th, but I'm not sure with traveling back and forth to visit like the family during the holidays. But I guess I will have time, like some I won't say when it is going to be. Maybe it's gonna be more organic kind of thing, that I just see like, all right, I have 2 hours, I will just stream the round. But if you check the channel, it should be announced a few days ahead. As for now, you can submit 2 more pictures for around 34 and 35. All right, so that's that for housekeeping, I guess. And we can now take a look at round number 33. For anyone who is watching this from the replay, make sure to say hello in the comments, and for anyone who is watching this live, I will appreciate if you let me know how is the sound and how is everything, the stream, if it's not laggy or boogie or whatever. All right, so we can start, and I have to say I was checking the photographs when preparing for this for the stream, and I have to say that last round I was kind of like, you know, the first 3 photos I wasn't quite you know, I wouldn't say satisfied with the quality, but I was kind of convinced that we have much better pictures. But today I think at least like first 5 or 6 photos, they're like straight up amazing, and this is one of them. I think it's just this feels to me like an India. I don't know, I might be mistaken. Just the dogs and the birds and everything. Let me see if there is a story. Not really. Untitled. But just the atmosphere, how the light is kind of behind the dog. I don't know if there is the sun behind the dog or if the sun is more out of frame. And then the fog, overall, you know, the dog is the main focus of the picture. But if you look around, you kind of see the, I don't know if that's like a fisherman or there are other photographers. And then you have this amazing gradient on the sky, and then this electric tower. I just, you know, it's amazing picture. Really like it. Really like it. And I'm very happy. This is the finalist of round number 33. So congratulations. And Atul, already a winner of one of the rounds. He takes, okay, so there is actually like a whole series. Amazing photos, and if you want to follow Atul, I will leave his Instagram in the chat. All right, moving on. Finalist number 2, which is, it feels like it's from the same scene, or I don't know, at least from the same country. It would be interesting to have those 2 photos next to each other. It has a little bit different color though, right? That one was more orange-ish. This one feels a little bit more, I don't know if it wasn't, it's probably natural. It just feels very interesting how it goes from this bluish light to this warmer light. I think photo of this guy coming out of the water would probably be enough, but we have a nice silhouette of a photographer, and this reminds me like a statue of David, you know, this Greek statue. I don't know where it is now. Is it in Greek, or is it in Rome, or in Italy? Yeah, sorry for my ignorance. But nice surprise on my birthday. Oh, happy birthday. How old are you actually? Let me know. I'm interested in the demographics of my audience. So I really, nightlight, okay, I really like this photo. Hi, I'm Sehajpal Singh. Sorry for butchering your name. Posting on this subreddit for the first time. Thank you, story. This was a very quick moment. Our main subject is wrestler. Okay. Who takes bath in this river, which is Yanma River. Yanma is a holy river which is worshipped by Hindu believers. That's why many people come in the morning to take quick bath before start of the day. Composition wise, it seems interesting because of the person on the far right happens to take a picture of something, but through my perspective, he looked like taking pictures of our giant main subject. Okay. He looked like taking pictures of one of my main subjects coming out of water, and the misty look and warm cool tones. Okay, so I didn't get that impression. I think, and now you talk about it, I actually see what you meant. I think why I didn't is mainly, first of all, because of the mist. Like this, it's kind of obvious that this subject is a little further. And then I don't know if it was shot, what aperture it was. I would probably try to close it as much as possible to have him in focus. I feel like he's not in focus, and that's why this isn't that obvious. But yeah, that's great. I think this would also work in a like a square, because I don't think the left side adds anything to it, like too much. But it's great. I think it's very nice photo. Congratulations. And I'm adding this to the collection. And I forgot to say hi to Streetwalker. Evening. Hello there. What time is it? Where you watching from? And say hi, Chpal Singh. Street documentary photography only, New Delhi, India. All right, amazing photos. I have to. This is gonna be on my list of places to visit, because it feels like photos take themselves. And if you're interested in checking out this Instagram, you can find it in the description. And Orlando, is it? Zox image, also very nice photo, and I'm very happy that this is one of the finalists. Okay, so you in London, all right, so nothing that crazy. This photo was shot in Asila, north of Morocco, in summer 21. This is an old and high tower where young people in summer time used to jump from. What I like about this photo is not the wow effect, but the expression and posture of the jumper, the joy of the fly. Oh yeah, and it seems really, maybe it's not, but you know, it seems really dangerous because of the rocks. And yeah, I think it's nice. I think it's also not a silhouette, which I like. I like how we can see the details, and this is probably someone, you know, who is kind of really in a really good shape. And I also like the silhouettes. You know, we could say that they could have been better. Maybe they could have a different, maybe better postures or whatever. Also, I think this would work if they were not there, but I don't really mind them. I think it's great photo, really like it, and also like the choice of black and white, because I think it pops against that sky. All right, and I believe you will agree with me. Okay, so here is the Instagram. We have seen this one so many times because it has been finalist so many times, but still it's very nice to look at. So feel free to include your Instagram so I can check it and share it. All right, this one. I was like, this is really, I don't know if that's the edit, but the light, it's really unreal. It's really, it has a great texture, and I really love the vignetting. I would maybe consider it to crop it even closer. I don't know if this thick frame serves any purpose, but it is what it is, and I really like this photo. Hi everyone, it's my first participation here. Looking forward to connect with other talks. I'm a portrait and documentary photographer from London, originally from Germany. All right. Well, I think, you know, when you have hats in the photo, it always gives this nice element. Composition wise, I really like it. You know, moment, two people sitting on the bench. It's fine. We can see this is England, Baker Street. Maybe one thing, you know, it's a little bit unfortunate, but what can you do about it? That the woman is on the phone, which I'm not the biggest fan, but a really nice picture, and really, I wouldn't say unreal scene, but you know, it probably wasn't that dark, and the photographer had to kind of imagine what would happen if he kind of, you know, focused on them, exposed them and everything. So I would say, yeah, great choice, great photo. And Jan Dreyer, okay. All right, so you like to shoot during the night. I have to learn that. I'm always a little bit annoyed by the night lights, like lampposts, and so bad. It really feels like you can handle it. All right, so the Instagram is in the chat, and we can now move on. All right, this photo, it's actually, is it double post? Because it was posted during the last round. So I'll just skip that. I wouldn't actually maybe notice that, but sorry. But this was one of the 6 finalists, so. All right, Christopher. Christopher, what can I say? Christopher takes amazing night photos, and I always wonder when I see them on the Instagram, how does he see that? How does he see the light? How long does it take to expose for that very interesting, very moody? I really like it. So much interest in your setup. This was taken on tripod. Let me just take a sip of water. I'm speaking all day, so I'm a little bit yeah, you know. This was taken on tripod with Nikon Z6 and 40mm f2 lens. It's 9 bracketed exposures to retain the details in the highlights. Might have been unnecessary, but the fog is so rare here that I didn't want to risk not getting it right. This image might not count as street photography, but I was just too proud of this not to enter it. if it doesn't fit your criteria, I totally understand. I'm really not a tech focused photographer, so someone might explain me what the bracketing is. It's 9 bracketed exposures. Is it like a composite, or is it some kind of function in the camera that you kind of like, something like HDMR or something like that? Yeah, let me know in the comments, or I can just Google it, but I mean, like, if you guys know, you can just tell me maybe quicker. Okay, HDMR image. All right. So kind of like an iPhone-ish thing. And then you, so is it like in camera, or then you kind of have to put them in the Lightroom and kind of combine them? With Seraphin, I'm 52. Air pollution seems to help make great photos. All right. Okay, probably talking about that shots in India. Anyways, this goes to the collection finalists. You take multiple shots at different exposures and stitch the highlights together. Okay, I see. Yeah, I think I saw that. You know, I know the basics of HDMR. You basically expose for different parts of picture, and then you use the proper exposures for. But isn't it used to, you know, not get like the black picture? Because it's usually, you know, it's when it's used in iPhone, it's usually used so you have your subject well exposed with the sky behind the subjects well exposed, so it's kind of like overexposes for the subjects and then underexposes for the sky or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. The camera will take multiple shots at different EV values when it bracketing mode, then you combine them in the post. Okay, so it's in the post. All right, thank you for your explanation. And Christopher has different profile picture. Okay, is it one of those AI generated ones? It seems to be very trendy lately. This is the Instagram of Christopher, and yeah, let me know what you think about it. I just read on it was on Petapixel, I believe. You know, this AI that can generate your portraits. A lot of YouTubers seems to talk about it. But back to Christopher. Christopher takes just some amazing photographs at night. So if you're interested in that, link is in the chat. Power plant. So first of all, I'm a little bit conflicted on this because it feels like you juxtapose, you know, the plants with the person, and I would maybe rather like to see it not with the chimneys, with the smokes out of his head, because it kind of suggests this is going to be like a coincidence or like a juxtapositions to make it funny. I would rather like it to combine it, like, you know, this fisherman, it, you know, because it evokes that he's like fishing for fish which is going to eat, which is something like kind of healthy, juxtaposing it with the power plants, which are kind of like, you know, producing smoke, which is not healthy. So I would rather maybe see him in some kind of moving a little more to the right and tilting camera to the left, not overlapping with the smoke. But this is also interesting. If I would go for this, you know, smoke is coming out of his head, I would really maybe crunch down a little bit to cover the part of the chimney. I don't know what's the word for that. Is it? I believe so. Yeah. So I think it's interesting idea, and you can take several. You can have several approaches how you kind of photograph this. You can go for this funny, you know, it's going out of his head. The smoke is going out of his head, and you can go for, you know, here's a fisherman fishing next to, I don't know, power plant. Then, you know, you make many kinds of stories, like, is this like a nuclear plant, or what is going on? Is the water, you know, healthy? Is it going to eat the fish and stuff? Yeah, so that's that. Exposure blending is a big thing with YouTube landscape photography photographers, but usually only 2 or 3 exposures. Okay. And that is probably like in Photoshop or something like that. There is a tool, right, for the multiple exposures. And obviously you have to have a tripod for that, right? Okay, some very nice black and white photos. So I will post it to the chat if anyone is interested in finding this profile, following it. It's very nice. And we move on to this photo, which is actually a thumbnail for this stream. And now some people asked me about this, like you have a photo for the thumbnail of the stream, which is probably like your favorite, and then you didn't pick it for the top 6. So the way it is that I usually set up the stream 1 or 2 weeks before actual deadline of the stream. So the round is actually open only like not few hours, but like few days. So I only pick from let's say 10-15 photos, but it doesn't mean it's bad photo because of that. I really like it, and there is also a difference for having a photo for a thumbnail, having a photo for the Instagram, having a photo for exhibition, for book and stuff. But you know, the way to get yourself into thumbnail is to submit sooner. So for anyone who has not submit yet, make sure to stop whatever you're doing. There are 2 more rounds open, and you can submit for next week. More air pollution. Case closed. I like the pollution coming out of his head. I would crop it more. Okay. All right then. I like the crop in this one, that it's square, mainly because of the windows. It's probably a little bit going a little bit down, or so I feel like it's framed. I would maybe like to have him a little earlier in the frame. This is like he's leaving the frame, even though like it gives his kind of sad look, like when you exiting the frame with this kind of like he's holding the balloons, his posture is a little bit sad. I think it works as well. Maybe work for better leg spread. Yeah, but it's not like this is some kind of very special moment or whatever, but I think it's a great photo, and it's probably because it's a good photo, and I think it's because of the balloons. I think like there are certain things that if you have in your photo, it kind of levels up that photo. Doesn't mean it makes a masterpiece, but it's just, and for me it's like balloons, umbrellas, hats, maybe pipes, old cars, Kind of wondering, I don't know, maybe parachutes in the sky. Yeah, and then you kind of have to work with it. I think this is just capturing that, so I think it's good / decent, but I like it color-wise, and that's why I picked it for the thumbnail. I find it quite odd to see a man in a suit walking on the street with a bunch of balloons. I think he was heading to some kind of party. Maybe a wedding. Alright. And here is the Instagram, DNC black and white. Is it black and white? It's because the Instagram is actually not black and white. Another photo with the balloons. Alright. We seem to have a great luck to meeting too. Okay, and another photo. Okay, is it? Did you follow the man? Alright, I see. That looks like Saint Augustine. I don't know where it was actually taken. And is this flipped? Or it, like, was he walking there and back? Or is this just a flipped thing? It looks like flipped photo. Yeah, I would bet it is flipped photo unless he walked back and forth. Let me know about that. All right, get your tickets. This has that same photo. Okay. What made you flip that photo? Did you think that going to the left is maybe more interesting? I think it, I don't know. Because the way we look at the photo is usually from left to right. Get your tickets. Okay, this has such a Christmas vibe. I don't know, maybe we could do a Christmas round. Maybe I will open another one with Christmas street photography. We'll see about that. It's hard to find someone to critique those, though. Anyways, this one, yeah, I don't know if this is film, but definitely looks like, mostly because of the slow shutter, or is it flash thing? I just wanted to say that this guy looks like from an ad. Then I realized he is probably, no, isn't. It's funny. It's nice photo. I like it. There is no story to it, but it's interesting. Thank you for your submission, Rosetta. And oh gosh, already 6 photos in the finals. So this is Rosetta Instagram, and it seems this is more like a personal one. Oh, this is also very nice. Nice series from New York. Okay. Thank you for your submission. This one, the bike watch. Let me see. I don't really get it. Is this a bird? Or is this a hat of someone? Or is this a camera? Maybe the resolution is not the best. A little bit struggling here. If you're watching this, let me know what it is. And if you're watching this later, also let me know what it is. Be interested. The one posted for the critique is original one and on Instagram flipped. Yeah, I didn't mean it for, you know, whatever. I don't really care if it's flipped or not. I was just wondering because it usually don't cross my mind to flip the picture unless it's like if I'm taking a photo of a water and I frame it deliberately, like I want to have the reflection up, and then I just rotate the image, not really flip, but I just rotate it, and it kind of makes like a confusion first. When you look at it, you kind of like, oh, what's going on? Anyways, okay, looks like a pigeon. So moment wise, I mean, and the bicycles, okay, the bicycles are also one of the things that look great in the photo. Yes, it's old looking bicycle against kind of clean background, but you know, if it's not an ad for this bicycle, this is not a super special moment. And if it's supposed to be just like a portrait of a bicycle, I wish this was a little more clean. It's a little bit messy. Feels like kind of a shot you would just walk around, see this, take a photo. The pigeon is also nothing, you know, special to write home about. It's well composed photo of not an interesting moment, I would say. Hey, my name is Boots and I take photos sometimes. I started shooting film recently and this is from one of my first rolls. It's shot on Lomography Metropolis and developed at 400 ISO. The title refers to Rembrandt's The Night Watch, since this photo was taken in Amsterdam's Museum Square, a stone thrown from where the Night Watch hangs out. Okay. You can find me on Instagram. Okay. Okay, I didn't actually get that. Sorry about that. Kind of makes me want to listen to Queen's Bicycle song. I would play it if I didn't get demonetized here. So here is the Instagram of Boots, and he has a nice eye for the faces. All right, and for architecture. All right, thank you for your submission. This, I'm struggling to find out what it is. Okay, so it's shot from down to up, right? This is a cat, I can see that. Is she trying to eat this pigeon or not? I wonder. Okay, and there is another bird. Okay, nice silhouette, I guess, but yeah, this is what I can say. It's the moment, I don't see this as like a super special moment. There are some elements that feels okay, but overall photo is that a little bit, I don't know. Is the cat in a mid-air jump? I don't know, it's hard to tell. It's really two-dimensional photo, right? This one, it has no depth. It has just it's an interesting idea. It didn't really, I don't really love it, I would put it that way. But thank you for your submission. Here is the Instagram of Stuart Hodgson, or Hodgson, sorry for that, and he takes some Very nice, moody portraits. Seems like the kids are sleeping. So anyone who wants to follow him, you can do it. You have the Instagram in the chat. Is this Tim? Permanent coffee break. Okay, I have to get used to that. This is not the name of the photo. No story for this one. I think the light is nice. The framing, I'm not the biggest fan of having the subject in the middle. Also, this sign is a little bit too close to the edge, so I would rather have it out. I think crop this in would also work. Maybe try to shoot it wide open to get the separation from the background. Not the biggest fan of him having it just right on the edge. I would maybe rather like to see him a little bit sooner in the frame. But very nice light and interesting catching him during the run. So thank you for the submission. Okay, it's Tim. So for anyone who wants to check Tim's Instagram, you can do it. You can do it here. All right then. Laugh. I love this. I think you know, I like the colors, mostly the red or green, not green, orange-ish color. Also, there's two gooses. What's the plural for goose? Look like kissing, I guess. Also making a shape of heart. And then you have this goat, which is kind of sticking its ass in the photo, and then the other goat's kind of like, what are they doing? Is this another goat? Is everyone just like doing their thing in the... Is it... Okay, I thought it's goat over other goat. Okay. But I like it. I like the silhouette. It's interesting. I like the photo. Let's add it to the collection. And Pranay takes beautiful photos. This one seems like another one from that series. Yeah, I think the one where the kissing is a little bit better. This is a beautiful photo, winning the previous round. So anyways, if you want to check it, it's in the chat. Okay, and this one, it's also very nice. It's not clean. It's not as clean as Christopher's, but I don't think it was the point on this one. It was probably maybe harder to take because of all the moving elements, and I'm especially not a fan of the night photography because of how the lights look in the night. The car was probably moving or maybe standing, but it's probably hard to take. Composition wise, it's I think I would like to see a little bit more space next to this skeleton. And also there is this car which is kind of interfering with this old timer, which I don't really love. This part is empty, which I don't really mind, but the way the old timer is there's the car in the background. I don't really like that. But as a first expression is it's nice photo. When I take a look at it, it a little bit falls apart with some of the composition choices, and also how it's, you know, not difficult to frame during the night. But I was taking a picture of local witchcraft, okay, shop on a foggy night when a really old interesting car drove by. Okay, I see. All right. So Daniel Scholl, and Daniel is his Instagram is in the comments. You can check it out if you wish. And Daniel takes interesting photos, also on film. All right. Okay. Thank you for your submission. Next up, we have Birdwalk. Birdwalk. Okay. Let's take a look how it would look if it was zoomed in a little bit. Okay, now I see. Yeah, I think the subject is nice. It looks funny, especially when they are synchronized. I don't know. I think the subject is funny, but the surrounding needs a little bit more work, maybe, to have it juxtaposed. Like, imagine having two people in the background walking with the same kind of sync, which I think it's, you know, pretty difficult, right? But that's what I guess is missing a little bit. I'm not saying that it is possible to take a shot like this, but I'm just not really convinced with this shot. I think it's a great subject. I would probably also try to take it, and I would also probably like struggle with how to kind of frame it in a way that it's just, I mean, the sign in an arrow, and then those crowns, or what is it? Maybe to put the camera a little bit more up, to not lose the arrow but lose like the cars, to have it more clean. I don't know. Interesting shot. Alexander Kitmanov. All right. Let's see. Okay, and if you want to check out the Instagram, you can do it. It's in the comments, in the chat. What is this? It's like from some kind of horror. Is it a mask? Okay, someone enjoying the moment. Thank you for your submission, Alexander. Late errand. Okay, that's Tokyo. That's Tokyo Zen. It's I really like your project, especially I think is this film? Is this like it definitely has a film vibe. I almost forgot you can see my photography on Instagram. Blah, 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 blah. This was shot along the river where I live. No flash, just the street lights. I thought about trying flash, but worry it might bother people. Yeah, especially on the bicycles. There was I think it was during 1 year in like a Magnum Photos Award. I don't know if they still do it. And in the finalists there was someone who was taking pictures of people on the bicycles during the rain. I didn't quite understood it back then. Yeah, just my thought. And Ishin Glen, okay, takes photos, beautiful black and white photos. in Japan, and you can see them on this Instagram. So make sure to check them out. This one, I like the idea of the subframing and cafe with a view. Okay, that must be a beautiful cafe. I wonder if it wouldn't be better in black and white. I'm almost bothered by the colors in Budapest. Okay. Yeah. I'm a little bit, it's a little bit, I don't know. I wonder how it would look like. I don't usually do that, but I think it would pop maybe a little more. The silhouettes against the background. I like those two in the middle, but then I'm missing a little bit of separation in those. I would prefer them to be a little more in the subframe, and would try it in the black and white. This is the Instagram and some really nice photos from Asia. Thank you for submission. Naplavka, which is actually in Prague. This is where I live, and I wonder if the photographer is actually Czech. No, Ukrainian. Okay. I like it. I think you can get maybe better photos here. I do have some photos from this place, which I'm not saying they are better. You can get like interesting situations. It's a little bit hard to like expose because of the sun against the water and stuff. As for this one, I would probably take a little more frames and try to get better, like, you know, the walking shape of that person. You can often also see at Naplavka that people are renting the boats. They are quite interesting in the photos, and yeah, I don't think like this is, I like how this bank is kind of wedged into the edge, but that's kind of it. I don't really, if it was supposed to like juxtapose to that sign, it doesn't really do it for me though. Feels a little bit like a snap. Quite okay-ish composed snap, but yeah, still. And the 39 exposure, you can check that on the Instagram, and photographer takes. Okay, I think this one is a little bit better. Yeah. All right. Thank you for your submission. Next up, we have Andrzej, who is actually from Czech Republic, and this is a snow window. As for the composition, I kind of like it. I just wish there was something a little bit more interesting in those windows. Yeah, like this silhouette is okay. Like imagine having someone in each window doing something interesting. That's kind of a dream. Or maybe having just one person. I feel like two is a little bit, it's a little bit odd. Empty office in snowfall opposite to my office. I didn't have to go very far to take this photo. Okay, at least like you can save some time. Also, I would probably consider cropping out this tree. Okay, it's not in or out. This theme, it almost looks like a filter, like a snow one, but still Yeah, interesting idea. I would maybe try it different times. And here is Andre's portfolio at 500 pixels. He has some great photos if you want to check it out. All right, then moving on. How many photos do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. Chicago Marathon. Okay, what is this? I mean, it's pretty obvious. What is it? I think those kind of shots are really like a hit or miss, because you are, you know, really depending on whenever you kind of catch, especially with the slow shutter speed, if you catch this moment, if you catch them doing something interesting or like looking interesting. I don't know if this is like the finish line or if she's waving to someone. It feels like this is a slow shutter speed because of the background is kind of out of in focus. I would maybe try to do it the other way around, to move with the runners to have the background out of focus, or just kind of like move around to have everything in focus. I'm not really I don't really like how his head is cut off. I would probably try to take a step a little bit further to kind of include, but as I'm saying, you don't really have time to frame. What I would do if I would like to get a shot like this is that I would stay there, and if you have digital camera, I would just take 500 photos, and I think some of them could, you know, work. I'm a designer and hobbyist photographer. In this photo, I try to capture bits of multiple concepts. Those concepts include scale, rhythm, motion, light, and depth. Okay. So I don't really... like, because I'm wondering, like, the scale you're talking about, I usually... What I do with the scale is just I take a small person next to a big building or whatever to kind of show the scale. This is kind of, you know, they are the same size. It doesn't really work. And then the rhythm. I think the rhythm would work if they were kind of like in a perfect order or perfect distance from each other. This is a little bit messy for me. Yeah, and also not the biggest fan how I've just noticed how some people are standing over there, which is a little bit distracting once you notice that. But thank you for your submission. And Christopher Basco is Leica Enrico photographer. Okay, and his Instagram is in the chat. And some pretty cool photos. Okay, this looks great. Thank you for your submission. All right, moving on to the next one, and it's Chtan. It's interesting to have those like flowers and this man against this a little bit messy background, I could say. I don't know, I maybe failed to see like sunflower salesman, okay, but usually when I look at Chtan's photos, they are maybe more clean or more organized in terms of composition. Over here, this is a portrait of a man, and then you have the flowers, and there is... I would maybe expect some kind of maybe funny element. Maybe this person kind of growing out of the flowers or whatever. This just feels like a portrait with closed aperture, which makes everything in focus, which is not really working well enough with this person being cut off. I think, like, if you look at Chetan's photos, he takes some amazing juxtapositions and photos, and this and at least for me is not one of them, but thank you for your submission. All right, this one, lunch again, not sure what it's called. Lunch again. Right away the composition feels a little bit off. I would probably tilt it a little more to the left. This crop feels a little bit awkward. We have those three people, like them two in the foreground and the other person in the background, which I think is fine. The table is a little bit messy in the photo and also composition wise. So I would I would tilt the camera, and this might be one of those photos when it's really hard to actually take a good photo because of the elements on the table. Like, what do you expect to have there? Maybe if they were kind of arguing, but then you have this just giant box in the way. Don't know about this, and so you don't have the Instagram or portfolio I could show, so feel free to leave it next time if you wish. This one, when your word doesn't collide with ours. Tottenham Court Road, London. When your word doesn't collide with ours. I'm struggling to find the meaning behind this. This is, what is it? Some kind of, is it falling down, or is it exhibition, or is it? I'm a little bit confused by this photo. Maybe you can explain it in the chat or in the comments later. Yeah, the framing, I would probably like to see the whole figure of her, you know, not being cut. Tilt it a little more to the right. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm a little bit confused by this photo. Please explain it to me in the comments. But some very nice photos, some very interesting photos color-wise. If you're interested in checking this Instagram, you can find it in the chat, and also someone who is much better than I'm in taking photos during the night. All right, maybe we are ready for another night round. This one, it feels a little bit like a snap, like the situation. Nothing super special. Smoke break. The colors are nice, the focus is nice. You know, it's Leica. But yeah, at the moment is nothing really special. Maybe making it a portrait of this man cropping in, but then he's colliding with the motorcycle, with the scooter. Yeah, I don't know about this one. Nothing to write home about. Sorry. Yeah, sorry about that. Not gonna make it the finals today. Satya Rodrigo. But some interesting photos on your Instagram. I really like this reflection. Okay, and also Leica gallery, they also like it. All right, so if you want to check out this profile, you can do it in the, you can see it in the chat. All right, couple in the rain. My first thoughts, this is a little dark, especially like because I feel like this is the main subject, but then the brightest point, the highest contrast is in this. Is it like a motorcycle or something like that? I don't know. I like the rain atmosphere. It's just this is very dark. Don't know why. Like I know why because it's night, but it's hard to kind of improve that photo. Also, this is shot from behind, so it's kind of difficult to make it look interesting. But yeah, that's what I have to say. And met you tall, right? So the Instagram, if it would be nice if there was a rim light on the right side. Oh yeah, that would be nice, but it's usually like if you don't bring your own light, it's like, wait guys, I'm going to light you so you are better in my frame. Doesn't really happen. But yeah, that's one thing how the photo could be improved. Thank you very much for your submission. Former president. They kind of looked post though. But I mean, like, you would post them in the dark. Another dark photo, which is unfortunate. I think the framing is okay, even though there's like a third of the picture which is like completely black, which doesn't really, I mean, it looks like it's underground or something like that when you have this much of a black space. And then, you know what would be cool if over there was a light casting light on this person, kind of like we had in one of the first it was fourth photo when the subject was well lit, or if the subject was standing over here lit by this light. Unfortunately, the subject is not well lit. It doesn't really make me feel anything. Even design wise, it doesn't really work for me. Maybe including no subjects or try to expose for the subject. I don't know. And it's just sorry. It just sometimes might be hard to make a good photo, even if the location is great, which this one is. It feels like a nice location, just maybe hard to take a photo. And I really criticized the last time I saw this photo, so I'm sorry to be harsh again. Didn't realize it was your photo, but just, you know, my thoughts about it. It's objectively very dark, and I don't think it really serves the purpose. But thank you for your subject and for your submission, and I hope I didn't really scare you from submitting more. Men at work. Okay, another one. This one has a little bit more light, but not just at the parts of the body I wish he would have. I wish he had lit his face. This one, it relies on color, which is this yellow, which looks great, but then what, right? And then you have these pieces of color around the photo. If we could see his face, we could maybe kind of relate to it, see maybe his struggle or joy or whatever, kind of feel something. When we don't see his face, it kind of relies on design, which I don't think it's amazing, unfortunately, in this one. But thank you for your submission, and if anyone is interested in checking the Kumar's Soundman Kumar's Roy Instagram, which actually has some very nice photos. Yeah. Feel free to do it. Thank you very much. And we have last. Let me see. Is it this one? Okay. It's this one. Red umbrella. Which is again very dark. Except, you know, if the red umbrella is the main like focus, it's pretty clear what's going on. I don't know, just again, you know, you can't really rely on I see umbrella is going to be a great picture. It is a good element to have in the frame, but it's not like auto win, like you snap red umbrella and it's a great picture. I would, if I saw red umbrella and I had time, I would probably follow it around until it juxtaposes against anything that would be kind of interesting, the interaction or just design wise, because you know this really relies on design and it's not amazing photo by the design. And the highest contrast is this sign, which like it's not really what like makes this photo. This photo is really about this umbrella, but it's not the highest contrast or anything interesting in the composition. So yeah, and I haven't found your Instagram. Don't have an Instagram. Okay, don't worry about it. And last photo, my name is Ajay Parvati and I'm from India, China. Okay. Someone said perfect framing. I wonder how this would look in black and white, because the color seems a little bit off. At least for me. I think the framing is interesting, that you have the ball instead of his head. I would maybe consider cropping it over here, because like this arm, it's neither in nor out. Don't really like this edge flicker. I think without it, it works just as well. Maybe even like leaving those 3 subjects. This one is a little bit close to the edge, but not that it would bother me. I like how they are kind of separated. Makes a rhythm a little bit, but it's not really perfect. I think, you know, this is great, but I don't know if it's strong enough to have the photo rely on that, unfortunately. But thank you for your submission. And my perspective hasn't submitted too many photos, but if you're interested, you can check it out. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I know I didn't show everyone's photos, but you know, it is how it is. We can't really stay here for 10 hours to show everyone's photos, and I made an update about that in one of the previous videos, so thank you for understanding. But we have here everyone's favorite part, which is picking the top 6. And how many photos? We have 7. Okay, we have 7 photos. So this is gonna be... Okay, it looked stronger. Maybe it was just because of... I don't know. Also, almost 700 people in their subreddit. That's awesome. Thank you for your support. So we have first, second, third. Was it? Okay, and then we have this one, this one, and this one. It's difficult. I think, unfortunately, Christopher's photo will go. And it's just, I don't know. I love all of them. And Christopher is also 2 times winner, so let's give a shot to someone else, right? So thank you guys for your submissions. Don't forget to submit your photos. The link is in the description. We have 2 rounds open, and I will hopefully see you next week. And also, last reminder that I am posting a new podcast with Magnum photographer Bieke de Porter, documentary photographer, and one of my, I already talked about it the beginning, that I feel like this is one of my best ones I've done so far. You can either watch it, which has a little bit of graphical kind of like thing, showing some images, or you can listen to it in your favorite podcast application. So that's that for today. Sorry about that. Thank you very much for watching till the end, and yeah, I will see you next week. So yeah, cheers.